Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something that's both deeply personal but also has these huge global implications.
hmm
We're looking at the foundations for, well, for happiness and for peace in the world. And our guide for this is Sai Bhaskar Reddy work, specifically 9 Secrets for Happiness and Peace in the World.
Right. And our mission for you, the listener, is to take this out of the abstract. I mean, it's easy to say, I want to be happier.
Of course.
But these sources, they offer a toolkit. It's practical. It's repeatable. We're going to break down these 9 concepts and show you the actual mechanics behind the benefits. Mental, physical, all of it.
It's a pretty comprehensive framework, and we're starting right at the very beginning. The first pillar, secret number 1, is something we all, talk about, but maybe don't do so well, the gratitude effect.
Yeah, let's unpack that. The gratitude effect is really an intentional mindset shift. It's about choosing to be thankful for things.
Big or small, right.
Big or small.
Yeah.
Monumental or, seemingly trivial.
Right.
The reason the author spends so much time on this is that gratitude is one of the fastest ways to literally change your body's chemistry.
Okay, that's where I want to pause. Because we know gratitude feels good, emotionally. But the sources are making this really strong claim about physical benefits.
They are.
They mention improved mood, less stress, better sleep, but also stronger immune systems and measurably lower blood pressure. So how does just, being thankful do that? How does it create a physiological change?
Well, the author connects it straight to neuroscience. It's about reducing chronic stress hormones. Gratitude is a direct countermeasure to that constant fight-or-flight state so many of us live in.
Interesting.
When you intentionally focus on positive things, even just 3 small things a day, you're basically telling your nervous system that you're safe.
Okay.
And that lowers the release of cortisol. That's the hormone that drives up blood pressure and causes the kind of chronic inflammation that weakens your immune system. So it's a very physical practice.
So if the whole mechanism is based on that intentional focus, what are the best ways to actually put it into practice?
The sources lay out a couple of key techniques. First is the one we've all heard of, the gratitude journal, but with a specific tweak.
Right.
You write down 3 things daily, but you also try to identify why you're grateful for them. It adds that layer of depth. The second is actively expressing it to other people.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, a handwritten note to a mentor, a family member. The act of sharing the appreciation, it actually reinforces the feeling inside you. It sort of doubles the benefit.
And it has to go beyond just writing it down into the present moment, like noticing the warmth of the sun or the actual taste of your coffee right now.
Exactly.
That focus on the present, that little microdose of contentment, that seems like the perfect bridge to secret number 2, mindfulness mastery.
It's a perfect connection because mindfulness is precisely that. It's the ability to be fully present, fully aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your surroundings in this exact moment.
And when you do that, you stop the mind from, time traveling?
That's a great way to put it. It stops the time travel that causes so much anxiety, worrying about what might happen or reliving old regrets.
And we see the same pattern of physical benefits here too, just like with gratitude. Things like meditation, yoga, they're linked to better cardiovascular health, lower blood pressure, even helping with chronic pain.
But here's the thing that trips people up. It's this misconception that you have to clear your mind.
Right, which feels impossible.
It is. And the source is very clear on this nuance. Mindfulness is not about stopping your thoughts. It's about observing them without judgment. You just notice a thought, you acknowledge it, and then you let it drift by without getting caught up in the story it's trying to tell.
I really appreciate that clarification. It makes it feel so much more accessible. You don't have to go sit on a cushion for an hour. You can do mindful walking, just feeling your feet on the ground.
Or mindful eating, really focusing on the flavors. And if you scale that idea up, you can see how personal mindfulness leads to global change.
How so?
A society that is more mindful, one that can observe thoughts and feelings without that immediate reactive judgment. Well, it's naturally going to be more compassionate, more understanding.
It's a tool for getting past our own biases.
A powerful one. Because you increase your capacity for empathy. And that right there is the core insight of this whole thing. The inner shift has to happen before you can have outer peace.
Which brings us perfectly to the next part, where we move from that inner work to our outward connections. Starting with secret number 3, the power of positive connections.
I mean, this one is fundamental. Humans are social creatures. Decades of research back up the author's point here. Strong, positive relationships are maybe the single greatest predictor of happiness. and even how long you'll live.
And it's the quality, not the quantity, right?
Absolutely. The quality is everything.
So what defines that quality? The sources talk about trust, mutual respect, a sense of belonging.
Exactly. They give you that emotional support and security. And maybe the most important thing is a shared sense of meaning. That's the real antidote to loneliness.
So what are the actionable steps? It sounds like it takes real intentional effort.
It does. It means carving out dedicated phone downtime for people. It means practicing active listening.
Not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Right. But actually trying to understand where the other person is coming from. That's how you build that foundation of respect.
I think we sometimes forget that relationships need maintenance. They're not just there. The source really hits on that. You have to be willing to work through conflict, to forgive, to grow.
It's the small, consistent acts of kindness that sustain them, just being there. Which, moving from that relational purpose to a more personal one, brings us to secret number 4, goal-getters.
The idea here seems simple. Achieving your dreams gives you direction, a sense of purpose, and it builds your self-confidence every time you hit a milestone.
Yes, but the source adds this really critical warning that you don't always hear. The goals have to be meaningful to you.
Not just things society tells you to want.
Exactly. If your goals don't align with your own deep values and passions, even achieving them will feel hollow. They need to be challenging, for sure, but also genuinely achievable.
That's the trap, isn't it? Setting those external goals, the bigger house, the promotion, that don't actually get you closer to your real purpose.
That's the psychological trap. So the plan has to be about breaking down your meaningful goals into smaller steps, setting deadlines, and doing something, anything, every single day.
And accountability is a big piece of that. The sources mention reminders, rewards for milestones, but also finding an accountability partner.
Which loops right back to secret 3, right? Our purpose is often supported and strengthened by our connections.
Which then flows right into secret number 5, making a difference. This is like the ultimate win-win.
It really is.
Yeah.
When you focus outward and help others, you're obviously contributing to a better world, but the kickback for you is huge. You get a profound sense of purpose, fulfillment, and the evidence shows altruism actually triggers the pleasure centers in your brain.
And I think it's important to stress that making a difference doesn't have to be this huge, grand gesture. The scale can be very personal.
Precisely. It's about using what you have. It could be volunteering, mentoring someone, or it could be supporting an organization that shares your values by offering your professional skills, not just your money. The big impact is just the sum of all those small acts of kindness.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about all this outward effort, building relationships, chasing goals. Now we need to look at inner balance. This brings us to secret number 6, the self-care revolution.
And revolution is the right word, because self-care is so often framed as an indulgence, something optional. The author argues it's absolutely essential. It's about taking full responsibility for your own well-being.
And that can look like a lot of different things. It could be simple, right? A walk in nature, getting enough sleep.
Or practicing the mindfulness we already talked about.
Yeah.
But it can also be more structured, like a healthy diet, a real exercise routine, or even therapy.
But the toughest part of self-care, at least from what the sources say, seems to be about setting boundaries.
That's the hard part for a lot of people. Learning to say no. Saying no to things that drain your energy and don't align with your well-being. It's about consciously putting your own needs first sometimes.
And this is the key point that makes it not selfish, right? It demands self-compassion, being kind to yourself, forgiving your own mistakes, letting go of that harsh inner critic.
As the critical takeaway. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Self-care isn't selfish. It's the foundation that allows you to give and care for others. Without it, all that positive effort just leads to burnout.
Which is the perfect lead-in to secret number 7, the art of letting go. This is about finding peace when things go wrong.
Yes, because holding on to negative feelings, anger, resentment, sadness, it's not just emotionally painful. The sources are clear that it actively causes physical health problems.
And the way to release it often involves using the tools we've already discussed. You go back to mindfulness.
Right. You observe the negative emotions without judgment, which helps you stop ruminating on them. And then there's forgiveness of others and of yourself. It's an active choice to put down that emotional weight.
I think we need to be really clear on what letting go means here. It's not about forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't hurt.
No, not at all.
It's about accepting the reality of the past, but refusing to let it control your present and your future. It's like an internal declaration of freedom.
That internal freedom is everything. That brings us to our final 2 secrets, which really deepen this whole idea of well-being. We start with secret number 8, forgiveness and compassion.
Okay, so we need to separate these two. They're related, but they're not the same thing. Forgiveness.
Hmm.
That's about letting go of your anger towards someone who wronged you.
And it's purely for you. It's an internal act for your own peace. It doesn't matter if the other person says sorry or ever changes.
Right. And then compassion is what? More outward looking?
It's the extension of care and understanding toward others who are suffering. It's about recognizing that we're all human, we all make mistakes, we all feel pain, and that recognition allows for much deeper connections.
The author is really honest about this, though. Both are incredibly hard to practice, especially when the hurt is deep.
Oh, they're very difficult. But if you refuse to engage with them, you're basically choosing to carry that emotional weight forever. It just blocks the path forward.
And finally, that path leads to secret number 9, the joy of living. This feels like the culmination of everything else.
It is. It's about finding fulfillment, appreciating the present, and seeing meaning in your everyday life. It's the state that all the other secrets are trying to build.
And to get there, you have to actively use the tools from the very beginning. You go back to mindfulness and gratitude.
You focus on what you have, not what you lack. Your health, your relationships, the simple comforts.
And fulfillment also comes from actively making time for things that just bring you joy, right? Hobbies, music, being out in nature.
Those conscious acts of appreciating the life you have and the life you're building.
And the final really important nuance here is that finding joy doesn't mean you're just ignoring all the problems in the world.
No, it's not naive optimism. It's about learning to see the beauty and the wonder that exists alongside the challenges. It's about living a meaningful life even when things are difficult.
When you look at all 9 of these together, what's really striking is how interconnected they all are.
They're completely interconnected. This isn't a buffet where you just pick one or two. It's a holistic framework. Each secret really supports all the others.
Yeah, you start with that inner shift, right? Appreciation and presence. Then you use that to move outward to positive connections, goal setting, helping others.
And then you have to return inward to maintain your inner balance, self-care, letting go, forgiveness, which all builds toward that sustained joy of living. It's a cycle.
A true cycle of growth.
And I think it's crucial for you to remember that these aren't just, abstract ideas you're born with. They are skills. They take daily conscious practice. But the payoff is transformative, not just for you, but for the world you're helping create.
So, since goal setting is such a key driver of happiness, let's leave you with a final thought to put this all into action immediately. Which of these 9 secrets would you choose to set as your next meaningful goal? And what's one small, achievable step you can take today, right now, to start moving toward it?